or what it is about, and then we actually log into the tool, and then we see how to implement that particular transformation or how to configure that particular transformation. Okay, so this is how we cover the transformations. The list of transformations provided here are not the complete list, just for your reference. So we would try to cover most of the transformations, and if at all we have already developed, like for example, business requirements, like requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3. Then we would what's it, take each requirement at a time and then build the actual code. Like if at all, actually that would be the real-time requirement. So how would you actually develop in the real projects? That's how we would look at it. Okay, Chandra, can you go to the next slide? Okay. So any questions till now, just ping me on chat. Okay. So once we understood all these transformations and the business use cases and all this, then we actually go into some advanced concepts of basically how you integrate the IDQ code with other tools, like IDQ as a standalone tool and IDQ with Power Center, IDQ with IDQ web services, and all this. And apart from this, we also look into the concepts like exception handling in IDQ, and then we also look into the human task module, and we also look into the reference data management and the content management and all this. Okay. So this is at a very high level, the course structure, and generally we organize this course with around like 20 to 25 hours. So wherein like which includes both theory class, that is like how we explain each transformation at a time and all, and also what's the practical or the demo part of it, the tool point of it. Okay, and basically how we organize it as a weekday or a weekend, that is on our comfort, that we will discuss, that we can discuss with the administrator there. Okay, so this is how the course structure looks like. So if you have any questions, just let me know, like if you think any of the topic we are missing out, or if you think we have to detail out something like that, I'll just confirm you if we are going to cover that or not. Okay, fine. So moving to the next slide. Yeah, sorry.
I have one question. Do you guys also cover the data profiling through Maplet?
See, we cover data profiling through analysts. That is basically building a profile and then exporting the profiles and generating or developing the scorecards using analysts. And also some bit of midstream profiling in developer. That is like when you build a mapping, as and when you want to see the output of the data, you do the midstream profiling, right? So that is what we are going to cover. So if there is any specific thing that is like profiling with Maplet, if you can just let me know, we can cover that as well. Probably may not be in the beginning of the course, but might be at the end of the course or sometime we can cover it.
Like reusable transformations and those stuff.
Yeah. So if you see this, if you see on the screen, we have this developing data quality solutions using IDQ. So all these are actually reusable ones. So for example, reusable for name cleansing, reusable for email cleansing. So in any of the projects, mostly what we do is IDQ track.
Hello,
We
can you hear
generally
me?
end up, yes. So we generally end up creating reusable maplets, and then we integrate it with Power Center. Okay. So we would actually cover both, that is mappings and maplets.
Okay, then the last question is like for each lecture, after the end of each lecture, will you guys assign some assignments like projects?
Yeah, so we have a Informatica lab guide, okay, basically provided by Informatica. So though the I would say the sources that are used or that are referred in Informatica, we don't have it because that's a different environment. We don't get it, but it has all the step-by-step process. So as a student, what you can do is you can just prepare the test data.
Hello,
Okay.
Hemant or
Yes.
Gangadhar, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So what I was saying is, uh, so you can prepare test data around it, okay? Or if you have any challenges in terms of preparing the test data or the source data, you can just let me know. I can prepare the test data for you. Like you can just let me know, okay, in the lab guide, so and so example, I want to work upon it, but I don't know how to prepare the source data for it. I will prepare it for you and I will share the file, source file. You can import it and you can follow the step-by-step approach that is listed in the lab guide, and you can learn it.
No, I got it, but will you also provide us a real-time scenarios?
Yes, yes. This basically this solution which we're talking about are the real-time examples, and most of the times, I would say around 95 to 98%, we would try to talk about the real-time deployments because that is how it is IDQ. The projects, the profilings, and all that. So we do all the real-time things,
And
and yeah, and at the end of this course, like if somebody is actually what's it, looking out for a change of their career, let's say from Power Center to IDQ or something like that, we can help you out in terms of resume preparation, like what all activities you can put as part of your resume. And also we have prepared some set of interview questions, like most of the IDQ interviews would be more in theoretical in nature, like they ask you what is data profiling, they ask you what is data standardization, how you do with IDQ. So it's more like theoretical and stuff. So we covered all those things as part of our interview questionnaire kind of a thing. So if needed, we can also provide that.
okay,
Okay.
awesome. And the last thing, is it with Informatica developer or is it with Informatica data analyst tool?
No. So in our course, we cover both analyst and developer tools.
Okay, so you will show us the both. We can get the access on both tools.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, awesome, great. Thank you.
How long is this access will be valid? Suppose if
I
we
think
listen the lecture
yes, I
and we
got the
need to practice.
yes, I got the question probably regarding the access thing and how you access the software and all. Probably you can get in touch with the administrator here. He would actually provide you the right information in terms of like how to access or what more, for how long it will be valid and all this. But I believe that what say we provide the access in such a way that it will be enough for you to practice. Okay. I mean, again, the point is that it is always good to for a candidate to practice when the course is actually happening. Instead, wait until the whole course completes and then starts practicing. He might have 100 questions wherein the instructor might not be available. Okay, and just to what say help you out with that, the way we have actually designed this course is, let's say if it is 20 hours of course, we would complete 18 hours. Okay, and we would take a break of like let's say 4 days or 5 days, and then we would come back and we would have that last 2 hours of class, which is more like what say dealing with the questions or kind of again going back to the whole structure and having a one quick walkthrough of all these things and all. Okay. And apart from that, obviously you can post your questions. Like we have our email addresses. You can post your questions. And probably it might take some turnaround time, but we would respond back to your questions. If not, the idea is like let's say you have completed day one of our class. day two, the beginning of the class is what we are expecting the students to have some questions, and we will discuss about it. If not, if you practice later also, if you have questions, you can come back.
Gangadhar, sorry, Hemant.
Yes.
Hemant, I don't know if somebody asked this question before, because I was caught up in the beginning of this session. So don't think I'm asking it again
No,
because
not a
I didn't know.
problem. Yeah.
Okay, so here it shows 20 hours total hours, right? But when admin team send me this email, it shows a 50 hours course, which includes 25 hours of online sessions, 25 assignment hours to gain complete hands-on expertise on the
Yes.
subject.
So basically those. Yeah. So I got a question. So those assignment hours is actually with the candidate, right? I mean, so basically, let's say you might have time in the evening and someone else might have time in the morning, right? So that particular assignment hours is with the candidate. Okay. Coming back to the course, as I was telling you, it is not exactly the hard stop point for us. It might be plus 2 hours or minus 2 hours or something. It all depends on how the okay. Okay. So fine. Any other questions on the course structure, or like if you guys are already aware of some topics which are not listed here, just let me know. And other thing is that
So
yeah, tell me.
yeah, go ahead, Hemant. I'll address my question. I mean,
Yeah, fine. So other thing is that I mean, like, so what we would try to do is, like, let's say if you are already aware of some topic which is not listed, or something like that, you just post me probably now or during the sessions. We can cover it up later, not a problem. But the main objective of this course is to not to just give some basics of IDQ and move on, but it is to what's say, enable the person, whoever is attending the training, in such a way that with some effort from his end in terms of practicing the IDQ, what's say, transformations and all, he should be actually able to what's say, in the real world, in the real project, we should be actually able to work upon on the IDQ technology. That is the intention of having this course. Okay, so our motto is like that, and we would always try to focus on the real world examples, not just hypothetical things. So that is the reason we have this business use cases, which actually talks about the real world examples.
so Hemant, here I don't see this Informatica analyst or something, which is a part of this. Usually it would be the part of this course, right?
Yes,
Informatica analyst and doing the profiling and all that, right?
you are right. You are right. So, Chandra, can you go to the previous slide? So, if you see the slide here, right? So basically, this talks about the data profiling concepts and data profiling using IDQ. So this is where we actually use analyst tool. And also, if you see in the last section of the slide, we actually have the concept of reference files and the creation of reference files and all this. So this is where again we go back to the analyst, and we would help you out to understand how you create the reference files and all. Okay, so as you, I mean, probably, I don't know if you're aware or not, but there is a very high collaboration between analyst and the developer tool. So, what happens is most of the times, like for any topic, uh, if at all we are working on developer, and if I feel that okay, this can also be done in analyst, so what I will generally do is immediately after showing it in the developer, I'll jump and I'll go back to the analyst and I'll show you how this happens in analyst. Okay. So no, don't worry much about it. And as I was telling you, the course structure is not really exhaustive. It is just at a high level, and we would cover analyst and developer as well.
Also, actually, what I'm thinking, I would like all this. So I understand that you're going to cover these transformations one by one, right? All these transformations that are mentioned under this IDQ transformations and demo, and standardizer, parser, address validator, and all that. So at the very end, so if you can able to explain this, how all the, like at least most of the transformations in like a project kind of thing, like where you have to go through all the way from IDQ analyst and also Informatica integration with Informatica Power Center and running that session as a part of a workflow. If you can do that, then we would get the whole idea. This I am actually talking about a very last step. So, in this course structure, I don't see that as one of the steps. So I'm just, giving you a word of advice. If you can do that, then it would be much more helpful for us to understand why this IDQ and what is its role in building these mappings and all that in actual ETL environment.
Yes, sir. So Chandra, can you go to the next slide? So if you see in the next slide, actually, uh, we have a topic of basically IDQ integration with other tools. Okay, so wherein we would talk how to integrate with Power Center, but how we would do is see most of the time we spend in the developer and analyst tool. Okay, so we understand how to work on that tool and use all the transformations, you build the mappings, maplets, whatnot. Okay, but the process of how you integrate it with Power Center, that itself is a separate session, which talks about like how you integrate, what all precautions you should take, and what are the steps you should follow. And we also have some Word documents which talks about the step-by-step screenshot process. Okay, and that is where what's say you actually learn how to integrate it. And be it any transformation, the integration methodology is same. Okay, and we all, as I was telling you, we also cover the some precautionary things what to take to integrate it, right? So that will cover all the things. Like for example, if you are integrating address validator, what is the precaution you should take? Or if you are integrating normal standardizer, what is the precaution you should take? Okay, so those things will be covered as part of course structure.
Okay. And so, hello.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, from my point of view, yeah, if you can cover everything, then that's fine. But from my point of view, the classes, coming to the schedule of the classes, I would say 1 hour on a weekday would be much more productive than the 2 hours on a weekend, which would be straight
Yeah, not
2
a
hours.
problem. Yeah, so Sashi, I got your point. So probably, as I was mentioning earlier, don't worry much about that. So admin will talk to you guys, and he will take your feedback. What would be the preferred time for all of you guys, and then we'll schedule it.
Okay,
Don't worry
okay, we
about
will talk to admin then.
it.
Okay.
Yes, and other thing is that we are not actually in a hurry to finish the course and move on. Okay, So we would ensure that whatever we are communicating or whatever delivering is actually consumed by you guys. Another advantage is that since it is online, you have the videos and all, you can always go back and refer to that.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. So, Chandra, can you move to the next slide? Next to next. Okay. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah. So here we actually talk about some basics of data quality, and we just try to understand why you actually have to talk about data quality and all. Okay. So this is some stuff taken from the research report, which says that the cost of bad data quality is actually exceeding 600 billion for US businesses annually. Okay, because of the poor data quality. Okay, so how did they account for the 600 billion? It is like, for example, if you have your customer email address which is really bad, you cannot do any telemarketing, or if your customer's mobile number is really bad, you cannot do any telemarketing for your customer about the new product launch, right? So that is where you're actually missing out your business, right? So they have their own mechanism of how to arrive at this number, but this at least gives you an estimate or the number, like why data quality is becoming more and more important, especially in the areas like US, UK, and Australia, and some parts of Europe. Okay, wherein they maintain a lot of data standards, like for example, data standard for phone numbers, data standard for address, for email, everything. Okay, and coming to India, it is still we just started. Like we are seeing some projects in data quality in India, recent, but most of the projects are with US and UK and Europe. Okay, so this is some introduction of like what is data quality and what is actually its impact. Okay, then can you move to the next slide?
Data
Chandra,
quality
can you
came
move to,
into market.
sorry?
When was data quality came into market? Actually, this as a part of Informatica suite, data quality came into the ETL picture. When was it? What? Which year?
We don't, I mean, I don't get the exact year as such, but I think we have one slide which talks about different tool vendors, and probably there we can talk about it. I think a couple of slides later.
I mean, the reason I'm asking is if we are creating some resumes, where we have some, to build an experienced resumes, and then if somebody is going to ask as a question, when we have been working in this data quality environment, then I should be,
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah. So coming to that point, data quality, or say the concept of data quality, the data quality project is there in the market at least from the last 10, 12 years. Okay. But coming to Informatica, actually currently we are running on 9.6.1 version that is in the market. Okay. So soon they are going to launch version 10 of Power Center and IDQ. Okay. So 9.6.1 is in the market from last 1 year. Prior to that, it was 9.5. So there is no much difference between 9.5 and 9.6. So I would say from the last 3 years, we are actually running on 9.5, 9.6. Okay, prior to that, we have 9.4, 9.3. And actually, there is a lot of difference from 8 version to 9 version of Informatica. I think even in Power Center, there is a lot of changes. So the same with IDQ. Okay, so version 9 onwards is what is more or less like same with some more additional features.
Okay, so when Informatica Power Center was running on 8.6 or whatever the version previously, a couple of years back, it was there. This data quality, Informatica data quality was there.
Yes, it was there.
Okay, so from past 3-4 years, it's been in the market.
No, it's there in the market from I would say around at least 6 years, 6 to 7 years.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so but as I was telling you, in the last 3 years span, we are actually working on 9596. Okay, the version of software. So like when you basically prepare your resume, if you want to mention the version of the software, and if the project is like let's say you have executed in the last 3 years, you can mention either 95 or 96. There is no much difference between 95 and 96, apart from some additional features, but more or less it is same.
Okay. Okay. 9.2.
Okay. Yes. So currently it is 9.6.1, and soon we are going to release 10 version of IDQ and Power Center.
Okay.
One Informatica Data Quality was a third-party tool. It was acquired by Informatica Corporation, or it is the original. It is the Informatica tool.
See, I mean, some parts of Informatica Data Quality was acquired by was Informatica. For example, if you take address validator, so that address validator actually uses address doctor engine. Okay, so earlier address doctor was a third party vendor or what do you call it. So later Informatica has acquired address doctor, and it has enriched the tool with okay, the address enrichment capabilities and all.
Suppose someone completed or someone learned the Informatica IDQ, Informatica Data Quality, but he got a job, the corporation using a different tool, not straightforward with Informatica Data Quality tool. But
Yes.
would he be able to perform? What is the possibility or what is the relevance
Yes. So yeah,
functionality would
good
be there?
question. So if you see how, I mean, my profile is like I have worked around 6 to 7 data quality tools, okay, in my career. And unlike Power Center or any other things, data quality is more conceptual in nature. Okay. For example, if you take data profiling, if you understand what is data profiling, why you should do data profiling, and what you will do as part of data profiling, though this let's say the UI and the steps might be little different from tool to tool, but for a person who knows that concept and for a person who knows how to do in a particular tool, he should be easily able to pick up any other tool. Okay, it should not be a really very tough job. Okay, because the way you, for example, if you understand what is data standardization and you know how to do it in IDQ, if at all you the customer provides you a different tool like be it a data flux or a Trillium, I agree that there is a little challenge in understanding the UI of the tool and how it behaves. But if you understand this, you can easily able to relate that and you can work upon it. It should not be a problem.
So to perform the IDQ, Informatica Data Quality, the person or the student or the employee has to be expert of Informatica Power Center, or just basic with the Power Center, or
So,
no need the Power
so
Center.
yeah. So as I was mentioning you in the course structure slide, the whole set of transformations in IDQ are classified into two. One is Power Center transformation, one is data quality transformation. So we have Power Center transformation with router, filter, union, joiner, and all. Okay. So if you have some basics of those transformations, it is actually well and good. Okay. But we don't need the expertise in Power Center. When I say expertise, we don't need to understand how to schedule jobs in Power Center. We don't need to understand how you parameterize the jobs in Power Center. We don't need to understand how you write your shell scripts. So that expertise we don't need. All we need is some basics of data. When I say data, like for example, if I say a table, you should be able to understand what is a table. If I say a record, you should be able to understand what is a record. If I say a column, you should be able to understand what is a column, right? Or when I say, okay, the data is actually moving from source to target via this transformation, you should be able to visualize it. Okay. So for somebody who has that basic knowledge, it should be very well good enough.
How about the metadata manager?
No, you don't need to have any knowledge about metadata management because IDQ doesn't talk much about metadata management.
Okay. Are you going to put any lecture on metadata or metadata manager related anything?
No, we would concentrate on analyst and developer.
Analyst and developer. So is it going to be any advantage who has, suppose someone has a installed in Informatica Power Center in his machine. So is there any way would you be able to configure or anything like that?
No, I mean, our course structure is more driven from the data quality requirements and the data quality projects perspective. So as I was mentioning, though we end up using some of the power center transformations, but that is not our whole motto, right? So even if you have your power center license or the software on your machine, you might not be able to perform all this unless until you have IDQ access.
Okay, yeah, I do not have IDQ tool, but I do have the Power Center. But I was assuming something is integrated together. I think both are integrated. Is there any way to figure it out or anything?
No, we don't. So Informatica doesn't provide an integrated version. So these two are different tools. And anyways, if you are part of this course, obviously you would be given access to IDQ software.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So Chandra, can you move to the next slide? Okay, so this is one data quality business use case. So in our previous slide, we were talking about the 600 million or 600 billion loss of business and all this, right? So this particular business use case talks about some realistic figure. Okay, so this talks about a retailer giant in US. He has just launched this promotional activity. So wherein he wants to send his latest catalog information to his customers via this post. So out of his whole database, he filtered out 5 million customers as his what's say, privileged customers, and then he started sending 5 million envelopes to 5 million customers. So let's say he has spent $1 on each envelope. So that means he has actually spent 5 million dollars for doing the promotional activity. That is one part of it. But what is that he's expecting? He's expecting this 5 million envelopes to reach out to 5 million customers, and he's expecting some of those 5 million customers to visit his store or visit his portal, whatever it is. Okay. But since the address data quality is actually bad, those envelopes were actually reached out to only 4 million of the customers. Okay. So that means then what is the impact for that particular organization? One is the operational cost, because he he has spent 5 million, but he was able to reach out to only 4 million customers. That is, there is an operational cost of 1 million which did not give him any use. I mean, it's of no use for him. It's a waste. And what is the other business? That is loss of business, right? Because he is not able to reach out to his 1 million privileged customers. So you might come back and do some business with him. Okay, so this is one classic example of how the bad address data quality impacts your business. Okay, so what we generally do if a customer is actually in this problem? Okay, we would suggest to implement a data quality solution uh, using any of the data quality tool, wherein we can do the address data quality and standardization, and then we can use those standardized addresses for communicating with customers going forward. Okay, or let's say in this 5 million, at least after doing the address cleansing and standardization, you understand that 4.5 million of your addresses are standardized and enriched, and 0.5 million are like we are not able to do anything because the address is really bad. So at least instead of posting the envelope to 5 million, you can at least post to only 4.5 million, wherein his operational cost will be only 4.5 million, and also there is high chances of the envelope reaching those 4.5 million customers. So in a way, he can actually save his operational costs, and in a way he can forecast his business, like, because he knows that he's 100% sure that he can reach out to 4.5 million. So we know that he can at least forecast, okay, like probably 1 million, 2 million customers can come back to me and all this. Okay. So this is one classic data quality use case and its impact and its solution. Okay. So Chandra, move to the next slide. Okay. So this slide talks about basically this is picked from Gartner report. Okay. So wherein as most of you guys might be aware, Gartner is a research firm which does research on all the tools in the market. So they release reports every year. So a report for each space, like a report for data quality space, report for MDM space, report for data integration space, like that. So this particular picture talks about the data quality space. Okay. If you see the whole, the block is divided into 4 sections. Rightmost one is the leaders, then the challengers, then the niche players, and then the visionaries. Okay, and if you see, Informatica is actually on the rightmost top. That means it is actually leading the whole space of IDQ, whole space of data quality. Okay, if you see, there were other vendors like Trillium, uh, SAS. SAS offers data flux tool. IBM offers quality stage, and SAP offers SAP BODS. Okay, so these were the various other key players in this space. Okay, so way back like 4 years, 5 years ago, Informatica was probably in the position of third or fourth, whereas SAS, Dataflux, and the Trillium were actually leading the space. And in the last 3-4 years, because of the way Informatica marketed their product, and since there is a lot of tight integration between IDQ and Power Center, and also there is integration between IDQ and MDM and all these things. So and also I would say the ease of working with Informatica IDQ. All these factors actually have moved Informatica from around like third or second position to first position, and today it is leading in the market. And me personally have worked on all the 5 tools which are present in the space, and I would still say that Informatica is far better tool compared to other tools. Okay, so the tools like Trillium, Dataflux, they are actually very powerful than Informatica, but only thing is that the ease of working on the tool, or the ease of picking the tool for a new person would be a little tough with that tool. But with Informatica, it should be very easy. Okay, and other thing is that since there is a lot of overlap between Power Center and IDQ, it is very easy for Power Center resources to quickly learn IDQ and then build their profile. Okay, so having all these factors, and of course the marketing strategies of Informatica, where they cross sell and upsell. For example, if your customer says I need Power Center license, they start slowly building the use case for data quality, and they start slowly upselling the IDQ stack to them. Okay, so because of all these things, today it is leading in the world, and I would still say, at least for the next 5-6 years, unless and until some drastic thing happens, or some other vendor comes with very great features or something, it would lead the market, and it is still there. Okay, and the other thing is that the best part about working with Informatica is their support. Like you have the support portal where you can log in, raise the tickets, and chat with your fellow developers in the community. And then if at all you're stuck with any issues, you can get support from them. All these things are very good when you compare with the other tools. So all these things are helping Informatica to lead the space, and it would lead the space going forward also. Okay. So this says that for a person who actually is in data quality space, since data quality is a very niche area, you don't find many resources in the market. And sorry, and on top of that, if a person is in IDQ, since it is leading the market, you will actually have good opportunities. Okay, so any questions? Okay, and, on this slide. So as we were discussing earlier, the way Informatica progressed from third or fourth to the first, they have acquired company like Apple's Doctor and all these things, and they have enabled a very tight integration between all the Informatica stack. That is where it helped us to move to the membrane. Okay. And if you see, there are a lot of other players in the screen, like very small players which are very specific to a given area. For example, there could be a tool which is very specific to address data cleansing, or there could be a tool which is very specific to let's say customer segmentation, all these things. So there will be a lot of consolidation that will happen going forward. So the main tools which would remain is like Informatica, Trivium, SAS, IBM, and SAP. These are the 5 tools which would be in the market, and rest all would try to consolidate within themselves or probably with the major leaders. Okay, and most of your projects will be in the top 5 tools, IDQ projects, sorry, data quality projects, and out of which most of them will use with Informatica, Dataflux, and Trivium. Okay. Fine. So Chandra, can you move to the next slide, please? Okay.
Hi,
So,
this is on again.
tell me.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Yeah, I have one more question. In this course, are you guys going to cover the scheduling and the deployment process?
Yeah, so we would, so there is no specific scheduling as such for IDQ. So in real world, actually, we end up integrating the code with Power Center. And so once it is integrated with Power Center, basically scheduling is nothing but scheduling of the Power Center mapping. Okay, that's how it happens. But we would cover the deployment part. For example, we have the concept of workflows in IDQ. So like when you create a workflow to basically to run the workflow or to execute the workflow, you have to deploy the workflow first. So how you deploy that will be covered, and just now it strikes my mind. We also will cover some part of administrator portal UI. Okay. When I say some part, we would not really cover how you configure the services and all, but we would cover upon like what services will be there in your administrator console, and how, like, if at all you log into the administrator console, how would you understand if the service is up or down, or some properties of services, like some properties like heap size, some temporary directories, and so, that basics you would cover, so that when you're stuck in your project, at least you understand, like basically if the tool is not working, if it is throwing up some error, you would understand why it is giving you that error. That bit of information we would be able to understand. And to fix that issue, if you are administrator come developer, you can log in and fix it. If you are a developer, you can get in touch with administrator and fix that.
Hemant?
What about the error handling and the logs issues?
Yes, we will also cover that. So these are actually, I mean, probably I missed out in my course curriculum. I don't want to make it very exhaustive, but we will cover that. How you basically see the log file as and when you run a mapping. Okay, that is one part. The other part is how you log in into your server to go to the path where the log files will be generated, and how you just copy and paste them using any other tools like FTP tools like WinFTP or any other tools. Okay, and we will also go to the log file to understand how the log file looks like and how to debug it and all this.
So, Hemant, so will there be any chances like a developer works on a different version of Informatica Power Center and a different version of IDQ. So it will always be the same versions whenever.
For example, what happens is, like, let's say if your client has a procured license for Power Center first, and let's say that license is valid for the next 5 years, and 2 years down the line, he wanted to use IDQ for some other purpose, then let's say he has procured IDQ license. So probably in that case, the version might be different, but we need not worry much about it because we have the version compatibility matrix, and the moment we log in into the IDQ, we can just go there and check which all versions of Power Center is compatible. Okay. And again, as you know, in today's world, I don't think somebody will use Power Center 8 and then IDQ 9.6. It's more or less maybe one, let's say 0.1 version plus or minus. That is, Power Center might be 9.5 and IDQ might be 9.6, or it's a vice versa. So it's actually not very, there should not be a lot of variance in it, and that should not be a problem. We have the proper matrix in terms of what all versions it is compatible and all.
Oh, okay. So all the properties should be, whatever the previous version properties should all be covered in the current version.
Yes, sir.
Vice versa. I don't think it would be vice versa, right?
Yes, yeah, right.
Because in the old version would cover, new version would cover the old version, but the old version can't cover the new version. So so we can't integrate.
So when you log into the IDQ tool, there you can quickly go and check. So which all versions of Power Center it is actually compatible. Okay. So generally it is compatible with two previous versions. That is, it is 9.6. It is at least compatible till 9 version. Okay, so 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5, 9.6.
Okay.
So anyways, that compatibility issue in these days, having executed these many projects, so at least in a real world that doesn't happen because most of the time we'll have compatible software environment. Okay. So, yeah.
So I mean, not recently, but a couple of months back, I faced an issue while deploying some mappings into a different version of Informatica because that organization that I was working for, they were maintaining 8.6 version of Informatica Power Center, and we have some mappings in there. They later on decided to go upgrade to 9.1, where some mappings are not getting into the
Yeah,
tool.
got it. So as I was mentioning you, there was a lot of changes that happened in all the Informatica, be it Power Center or IDQ, from version 8 to version 9. Okay, when I say version 8, be it 8.1 or 8.2, 8.3, whatever it is, there's a lot of architecture difference, how the tool operates, and a lot of features have added from 8 to 9. Okay, so as long as the tools are in 9 to 9, I would say around 98% it should be compatible. I don't see any issue with that. But again, other thing is that, let's say if it is not compatible also, as a developer or as a solution architect, we cannot do anything, right? I mean, see, when IDQ tool stack itself is saying I'm compatible only with 9.1 or 9.1
Right.
Power Center, I really don't have any other mechanism of how to make it compatible, right?
Right.
Simple as
Just
yes. So that's it. So I mean, nothing that we are going to gain if we are let's say, thinking about it, because it's as simple as that. When it says I'm compatible, I'm compatible. When it says I'm not compatible, I'm not compatible. That's how it is.
Oh, okay. I thought there was some solution since you're working in the real-time environment. If you face
No,
that,
there is no solution, because it's as simple as that. The moment it is not compatible, you import the mapping or maplet, it becomes invalid. It gets corrupted, and that's it. So there is no way. You have to actually sit and rebuild it to the new version.
The main difference is Informatica below version 9 does not support the cloud environment, but version 9 and above support the cloud. Also, Informatica admin, they change it. It used not be the name of the Informatica admin console. So their version 8.8.6 and above, 9 above, they did the Informatica admin. And the lookup transformation used to be only active. Now it's active and passive both.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Yes.
some main difference between the version 8.6 and 9.1 or 9 and above.
Yes.
Yeah. Fine. So yeah, moving to the next, basically this slide. This talks about let's say what when we say IDQ. Okay, we generally don't specify if it's analyst or developer. We generally use the word IDQ. Okay, but when we say IDQ, it is actually two tools. Okay, it's a set of tools. So one is the analyst tool, and one is the developer tool. Okay, so what is analyst tool? Analyst tool is a thin client. That is, it's a web-based client. If you see, there is a screenshot on the slide deck. So it just points to a URL, and you can just log into the okay, analyst tool, and you can do some things around it. What is that you can do? That's a different part. We'll learn in the next slide. So that is a thin client. So what is the developer? It's more like your Power Center clients, which are the thick clients. That is, you have to install the thick client on your laptop or whatever it is, and then connect to the repository, and then you basically start working on it. Okay. So then why we should have two different tools? So the main purpose is, so developer is mainly for the technical guys who would actually log in into the tool and develop the solutions and all this. But whereas analyst is more for the business users or the business data analyst point of view. Okay, so who are actually not very technical in nature, but they understand some basics of data profiling, some basics of reference tables, some basics of data quality issues and all this. Okay, so the main intention of having two tools is that. Okay, so the developer actually is the tool which helps you to develop. You can use all the set of transformations which we discussed, like routers, unions, standardizer, address validator, and all this in the developer. Okay, but analysis is more from the business user's point of view. Okay, but having said that they provide two tools, we actually have very tight integration between these two tools. Okay, that is a lot of things that we do in analyst are will get reflected in developer and the vice versa. Okay, and even the login details are same. That means the login you use to for the analyst tool, and the login you use to connect to the developer repository are same. Okay, so there's a lot of tight integration, and as I was mentioning you, the whole idea of analyst is for the business user. Okay, and through our course, we would cover both analyst and developer, and we would also cover the collaboration point of analyst and developer, like how these two are collaborated. Okay, like how basically changes that are done in one tool will get reflected in the other tool and all. Okay, and the current version that is running in the market, as we discussed, is 9.6, and sometimes we might use 9.5 in our training. I would give you a clear instruction if it is 9.5. Okay, but we would always try to go with 9.6. Okay, we have both the versions in our lab, and as I was telling you, Informatica launched version 10, and I think it will be available in the market very soon. And in the version 10 of Informatica IDQ, they have also integrated some data governance keys to IDQ. Okay. Rest all features were looking same because I have attended the webinar. So rest all features were looking same, but they just added some bit of metadata management and some bit of data governance keys to the IDQ. Okay. So that is they have launched it officially, but I think that is to be in the market. I think it might take another 5-6 months, and probably then people will start taking it, and all the versions will be 10. You have a Power Center 10 that is getting launched, and we have Power IDQ 10, and I think MDM is already 10 version. So I think now we are moving to version 10.
So I have a question, Hemant.
Mm-hmm.
Once we integrate these mappings, IDQ mappings into Power Center, there we build the sessions, we build the workflows, then we deploy them into QA and then the prod, right? So will there be different environments in data quality too, or it's just a developer environment? Once,
No, no, we will have different environments in all the power the production and everywhere. But only thing is that once the code is integrated with Power Center, actually all these transformations, the DQ special transformations will get converted into some Power Center transformations, and some, I would not say non-readable, but non-understandable transformations. Okay. So, like, let's say the code is integrated and deployed, and in your QA or somewhere you found an issue. So you cannot edit your code there. Okay. All you have to do is come back to your development instance.
right, right. Yeah, I
and
understand.
yeah, make the changes to that particular version of the maplet, and then
And then again
reintegrate it.
integrate.
Yes,
Okay.
integrate it back to the Power Center code, and then propagate it to the higher environment.
Okay, so we have different environments. I mean,
Yes,
apart
yes.
from development environment in QA too. Okay, I mean data
Yes.
quality too. Okay.
So the only advantage is, the real advantage is, one is it's about the integration. That is, instead of having a lot of moving pieces from one end to the other, it will be, since it is integrated with Power Center, the number of moving pieces will be less. And the second thing is, the reason why we have to integrate with Power Center is IDQ as a tool is actually very good in all this cleansing standards and all. But however, in terms of read-write capabilities, that is, in terms of reading large millions of records and writing data to table, millions of records, it is not that powerful. So that is where we integrate with Power Center. So Power Center takes responsibility of reading from the tables of files,
Different sources.
and then it sends the data to the maplet, and then maplet does all the cleansing standardization. And after the standardization, if you want to have any Power Center transformations, you will have them, and then you will load it into target. And other advantage of integrating is, since Power Center already has a very well tested way of scheduling using the schedulers like Kava or any other tools, and all these things, it is very good way of doing it.
So, I mean, I just stuck with this question. Like, why do we need data quality if we have Power Center, which has the ability to read from different sources and write to different sources in a very efficient way? Then why do we need data quality? Why can't we have these transformations in Power Center itself and run there? You know, why going through all this hassle?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, if you ask me, there is really no specific reason for it. Okay, it is all Informatica way of marketing the products. And since, if you remember my previous slide, which talks about the different vendors in the market. So I mean, just to give you some background of how this space has evolved. So the main players like SAP, Informatica were never there in this data quality space. Okay, so it all started with vendors like Dataflux, which is from SAS, and in fact, Dataflux itself was a separate company. It was acquired by SAS, then it became SAS Dataflux, and then Trillium. So earlier these two tools were the specific tools which were into data quality. Okay, they were actually trying to grab the market. And by looking at their progress, that is when all these tools like SAP, BODS, and Informatica, they started realizing the fact that data quality is a growing space. Let me have one tool. Okay. So what happens if they don't have a separate tool and if they have everything in Power Center? Uh, though everybody will like that approach, but they cannot market themselves saying that I have a separate data quality tool. Okay. So probably that might be the reason why they are still maintaining it as a separate tool. But I would still say, I mean, you can always move all these transformations to Power Center and you can have only one tool.
Right. But I see some drawback in this tool because it is not a standalone tool. I mean, without Power Center, this
No,
tool.
it can be standalone provided I mean the volume should not be really large. For example, if you are doing a typical data warehousing project, or if you are doing a data consolidation project wherein pulling data from 30 systems, 40 systems, probably IDQ might not be the right tool to read and write. But if it is a one-time data cleansing activity, wherein you might be reading 1 million records from one source and doing the cleansing and standardization, and then or say writing it back to one table or couple of tables of 10, 20 tables, it should be okay. It should not be a performance hit. Okay, but in typical consolidation projects wherein like you have 30 systems, 40 systems, or you have very large volumes, is when we go with Power Center and IDQ together.
So, then I was an assumption that in Informatica Data Quality, we can build sessions as well as workflows, even if it is a low, I mean, a very small volume source, and that we are writing into the target. We can't do that, right? We can't
No, we can
do
do that. We
sessions
can do
or
that.
work.
So IDQ
Okay.
has the capability of reading from the source and writing the target. So as I was mentioning you, it's all about the volume and the complexity of the project.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, so there is a concept of session and workflows in data quality too.
No,
right?
we don't have the concept of session workflow. All we do is build the mappings and execute the mappings.
Oh, just executing mapping would populate the table target.
Yes, fine. It is very simple way. I mean, when for a Power Center resource, executing the mappings in IDQ will be very simple because you don't end up creating workflow sessions and all. And also you don't have, unlike Power Center, like you have one tool for designer, one tool for monitor, one tool for workflows. You have only one tool, which is developer. You build the flows there, you can see the data there, you can run the data there, mapping there, you can see the logs there. So it's only one tool. Okay. And it should be easy for somebody who has worked on Power Center to understand it.
So in Informatica Power Center, we can connect to different sources. We can write to different sources. I mean,
yes.
a large number of sources, right? Here, in data quality, we don't have that liberty to write to a different targets and reading from a
No,
different sources.
we have that capability. We can read from relation sources. We can read from non-relation sources. We can read from Teradata. We can read from what's the unstructured data like Facebook data objects, LinkedIn data objects.
Okay, whatever Power Center can read and write.
Most of them. I will not say 100% there. I would say around 80-90% you should be able to do that.
Oh, okay.
See, again, if you go back to the reason why not 100% is there, I mean, it all, see, the moment you talk about reading the data from Facebook, the reading data from LinkedIn, the structure of the project will become complex, right? It would not be very simple that, okay, I will read from Facebook and I'll do something, right? I mean, when the customer says, I want to read data from Facebook, if you see the whole surrounding picture of that project, it will be actually a complex project.
Right.
Probably at that time, Power Center will also come into the picture where we will take help of Power Center.
Okay.
Okay. So, Chandra, can you move to the next slide? Okay. Okay. So this talks about. I think we will wind up here after this slide. I mean, we have a couple more slides to cover. We'll see. Okay. So this talks about the architecture, and for somebody who is let's say aware of the Power Center architecture, it is same. On the rightmost side, the blue one, the integration service and the repository, that is your Power Center things. Okay, you have your integration service, you have the meta manager service, and
sorry to interrupt. Can you enlarge the slide a little bit?
Yeah. Chandra, can you maximize it? Actually, I have some difficulty in sharing my screen. Probably from next class I will be able to. So you can play it on full screen at the bottom of.
Sure. Also, can you be a bit louder and clearer? Sometimes I am unable to
Yeah, I
understand
think,
what you're saying.
Shashi, I think there is some issue with at your end, because the reason is when any other candidates are talking or asking questions, their voice is very clear. But when you are actually asking the question, there is some, okay, the voice is little breaking or something like
Oh, okay. I
that.
thought it was
Yeah,
from your end. Okay.
no, fine. So this talks about the, okay, the architecture. And if you see at the topmost, it is administrator console. The console is same for both IDQ and Power Center. So the moment you log into the administrator console, you'll be able to see the services of both IDQ and Power Center. Okay. And on the rightmost side, you have the Power Center related stuff. That is the integration service, repository service, metadata management service, and the respective tools like mapping designer, workflow manager, metadata manager, and all this. Okay. On the left-hand side, you actually have the IDQ stuff. That is, you have the IDQ data integration service, and you have the IDQ repository, which is called model repository, and you have services like analyst service, which will help you to run the analyst tool, and then you have the profile service, which will help you to run the profiling, and then you have mapping service to build mappings, and then you have SQL service to build the SQL services, and then you also have the Informatica developer software, which will help you to log in and develop the solution. So if you see, the repository for Power Center and IDQ are different. So whatever code you build in model repository, that is in IDQ, when it gets migrated to Power Center, you should actually migrate the whole stuff to Power Center repository. And if you also see, the data integration service for IDQ and Power Center are different. So basically, whatever reference files and everything which you provide to the IDQ integration service should also be enabled to Power Center integration service when you integrate the code. Okay. So that and all anyways will be covered as part of Power Center integration. But this slide just talks about high level overview of how the architecture looks like. And as I mentioned you, we will log into the administrator console as part of our course, and we will see how each of these services looks like, and some properties of these services, and like you would understand how to what's a recycle the service or stop the service and all this, some basics of administration. Okay. So Chandra, can you move to the next slide? Okay. So this slide talks about the capabilities of IDQ. Okay, so what all we can do with IDQ? Data profiling, that is basic data profiling and business use configuration, and then data cleansing. Okay, so you can do data cleansing like removal of special characters, removal of any unwanted strings and all this, and then data parsing, that is passing of like full name into prefix, suffix, first name, last name, or passing of the phone number into country code, state code, area code, like that. Okay, and then data standardization. For example, uh, if you have the email domain name like yahoo.com, if there is spell mistake, it can be properly corrected to proper yahoo.com. Likewise, you can do a lot of data standardization, okay, and address validation enrichment. So as I was mentioning you, we have the address validator component, which takes help of address doctor engine, and we can do the address validation enrichment, and then we can do match and merge. That is, we can identify the duplicates in the duplicates in the data using the tool, and we can consolidate them. That is, like if there is two records, those are duplicates, we can consolidate them, and we can let's say identify the golden record or the survivor record out of the consolidated data. Okay, so at a high level, again, these are the capabilities of IDQ, what all we can do. Okay, so moving to the next slide. Okay, I think yeah, this is last slide for the day. Okay, so Okay, so during our course, right, we talked about some terminologies very frequently. Okay, so we thought we will just have one slide which talks about some of these terminologies. Okay, so for example, maplet. So okay, maplet is nothing but it is a reusable piece of code which actually doesn't talk to any source or target, but which will have that skeleton structure. That means what all should I map as my source? What all will I get as my target? It is more of a skeleton, and also it will also have the logic. That is like what is it you're doing in that particular maplet. Okay, so these is a reusable one. The moment you build one maplet, you can reuse across the mappings. Okay, and coming to the mapping is nothing but it reads from source and it writes to a target, and also it has some let's say transformation logic. Okay, and then what is transformation? Transformation is nothing but components and that can perform some data quality operations. Like for example, to join two data sets or to modify the incoming data or to filter the data. So those are the transformations which are typical Power Center and DQ transformations. And then what is reference files? So the reference files concept is very specific to IDQ. It is not there in Power Center. So just to keep it short, it is more like your lookup table. So you can build the reference files if you have the data in your flat file. You can use that flat file to build a reference table, and these reference tables are actually used for your standardization, cleansing, and all this thing. Okay, and the whole strength of IDQ is with reference files. Okay, because the moment you have the data in your flat file, you can convert it into your reference file. Okay, and the moment you can build the reference file, you can do cleansing, standardization, and everything. Okay, so that is more like what's it, the meat of the IDQ tool. Okay, so it is very easy to build a reference file. So that is the main reason why what's it, you can do any sort of cleansing or standardization. Let's say customer gives you so and so requirement, you can do that uh, because it's very easy to build the reference tables. Okay. So anyways, we'll look into that in detail, like how a reference table looks like and how to build it, how to edit it, and all this. Don't worry about it. So these are some of the components of IDQ, okay, which we generally talk about every day, day in, day out. Okay. So I think, yeah,
And what about the connections and all that, like creating
yeah,
the
yeah, connections also
data?
we cover that. So these are the very say frequently used
High
words like
level
okay,
components. Okay.
yeah. So we also have connections. We also have some other stuff that we cover. But as I was mentioning, this is very frequently used words like okay, let's build a mapping, let's use a transformation or something like that.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, we thought we'll cover it. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll stop here and Chandra, if you can quickly go to the next couple of slides. Okay, so which talks about data profiling, some basics of data profiling, and how you do data profiling in IDQ and all. So I think we'll take up in the next class because I think it's too much of topics today. Okay, so if there are any questions, just ping me over chat now, or probably you can ask some questions. If not, you can provide the feedback about
So
the session. Yeah, tell me.
just out of curiosity, asking this reference files. So can we store these reference files on the server or on the local machine, or once we integrate with Power Center, we can these files be stored?
Yeah, so basically, these files will be stored on the server once once they're created, and basically in the repository. And once you integrate with Power Center, we should also enable access to these reference files. Because if you remember, I was telling you that we have two different data integration services. one for Power Center, one for data quality.
Right.
So we should enable access of these reference files to Power Center integration service as well. Okay. Yeah, that anyways will cover as part of integration.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Just curiosity.
Okay. So any other questions from any of the students? If not, probably we can wind up for the day, and then we can provide the feedback about the session. And yeah, tell me.
Do you teach only IDQ? Also, you teach MDM?
No, this particular course is about Informatica Data Quality, Developer and Analyst. And we also have an MDM course that is a different batch. You can get in touch with our administrator. He would help you out
But who is the teacher? Are you the teacher or someone else?
No, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. We have another instructor who is again he has a lot of working experience in MDM. So
Okay.
probably you can get that in touch with the administrator for the details and the demo class and all that.
So you do the complete IDQ, is it right? Or is there any other
Developer and all that.
instructor?
This is what I deal with, and MDM is a different instructor.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. So any other questions then? Okay. So then, if no questions, then we'll wind up for the day. And as I was mentioning you, share the feedback with the section. And if you feel something is missing out, we'll add to that. And also, do let the administrator know the very comfortable time and all, so that we can plan for the continuation of this course. And I think I'm done. Thanks for attending this session.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.